Hey, I'm sitting in my bay at the golf school with Philippe right here, and then Diego is filming us right now. And Viktor Hovland has won the Mayakoba Championship the last 2 years, the tour event here. And I'm going to sit down and take a good look at his golf swing. And he's got some pretty unusual stuff in here, but of course, one of the best players in the world. So let's take a look. Diego, come on, sit down. We'll take a peek here. I've got one clean image of him right here with no lines on it, and another video over here where we do have the lines on it. Now, the white line is going to show inward extension if any exists. He will not have any. The blue line going up shows his spine angle. I can see here if his right ear moves at all in his backswing. So he's already just started the club away as I'm looking on the right picture. Now we're going to take it up in slow motion. Now this is what we call position 2 or stage 2 in the 8-step swing. And we're looking at the club face here, the angle of the club face. We call this a toe down position. We also noticed that he did not have any inward extension. He put his right hip pocket right up against this yellow wall here as he went back. And he stayed, exceptionally level going back. Almost no movement of that right ear. Now, Viktor stands the club up very well here at position 3. That's left arm parallel. Again, no inward extension. We can now see that the head is moving somewhat toward the target line. This is being the target line to where he's hitting the golf ball. So now there is movement of the head forward. I look at how the head moves basically 6 ways. It can go forwards or backwards. It can go up or down, and it can go right or left. But we cannot see right or left from this down the target line view. We're going now up to top of backswing position, and you can see a couple of interesting things here. How high or how steep the left arm is with Viktor in his golf swing. He's also has a slight bow in the left wrist. The club face, looking at the camera here, is in a closed position. Not severely closed, but it is in a closed, or we'd say very strong position. You can see that his right elbow is slightly higher than his left elbow. So he has a lot of leverage. He's not a real big guy, and he kills it with a golf swing that has very little face rotation. Now we're going to show you how that happens. When he starts down, he moves the butt of the club outward slightly. In other words, it doesn't come back straight down. It moves out. At the same time, the golf club is moving the other direction. So I'll try and get a line over here, and maybe we can check out what's happening. This club's going that direction, and the butt of the club is going this direction. That is a very common move that you'll see in a lot of great players. I've kind of termed that move at the top a reverse slot move, where the butt of the club moves outward. And now let's look at that lead wrist, his glove hand, his left hand, and it gets into a even more bowed position. Now, the great thing about this is he's already got his left wrist in an impact position. That's exactly where you want to be at impact, with the left hand bowed or in a extended position. I meant to say a flexed position coming down. We could call it bowed or flexed. Now, again, I can see the club face as he starts down. That's a very strong position that I look at as a teacher. At this stage, left arm's parallel again, we can look at the angle of the shaft and where it's positioned relative to the right shoulder or the right elbow. And we can see that a lot of people would say that's a little on the steep side. The shaft is not steep though. It fell back, as we saw right up here. Look how much the head is dropped. So I call that chest compression, where the chest goes down, but his entire body, his knees are going down and the chest are going down at this stage. And Viktor really gets the club out. And by that I mean it gets right in front of his hands here at position 5. This is delivery right here, and you can see how the club gets out. Now it has to do that in order to not hit hooks. And Viktor does not hit hooks. He hits super straight shots and easily fades the ball. Now as he comes into just before he hits the ball in the impact interval, look how rounded the back is. Look how he's really dropped. But now he's in the mode of straightening up the hips, especially the left leg, as he comes in to hit the ball. So interesting how over and rounded and down he is with the head, but this lead leg is almost straight right now. The left leg is in the process of straightening with all tour players. But he has got it dead straight right here. You definitely get the impression that the weight's going to the left heel. That could also be called a counter move, counter fall move, where he's moving away from the target line, allowing him to stay in balance as he goes through. And one of the really interesting things about Viktor going through is how stable he keeps the club face. Now in this picture right here, it's not super clear, but you get the feeling that there's no flip whatsoever in this guy's golf swing. And look how down he still is. So from in this section of the swing, man, he is really staying down through the shot. Another interesting thing that I've studied for decades has been what Carl Welty and I call the exit position. And this is section 7 of the 8-step swing. We call it 7C because we look at certain intervals here of how the club exits through. Once it gets through to the power line, which was right out there where the club straightens out, there's no club, no arms. No club, no arms. And then the first thing we see is the club, no arms. Again, you can see this club face is absolutely not rolled. And then something that, is just sort of relatively known is how the lead wrist, his left wrist, goes through the ball. He doesn't full roll the wrist this way. He actually lets the wrist cup. It extends going through this way. And the right wrist now is bowed. So left wrist bowed on the downswing, right wrist bowed on the way through. Still down through the shot. Man, it's just unbelievable. Now he's coming up and going tall to the finish. This is when you come off that back wall. Everybody extends there. He goes right through to this classic looking finish, but a lot of things happen throughout this golf swing that are pretty unusual. If I go over here and just play the swing, first in fast motion and then even in slow motion, it's hard to pick out all of these things unless you do some stop action photography. And then you have to know what you're looking for as a teacher, because maybe some people would change this swing when really it's a swing that just hits bullets. It's a super accurate golf swing. My mom was pure Norwegian, so I kind of look, it's he's a special case for me. I know they're so proud of him in Norway. But wow, what an unusual move. What a great golf swing. A lot of things that were not taught years ago, but he's changing teaching for sure.